Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, we will be taking a look at Classic World of Warcraft, which by the way is only 232 hours away. You gotta be honest, you all have an idea of what Classic WoW is gonna be like, whether it's good or bad. Be honest, you want to try it. I mean, it's going to be a fresh new experience, especially if you can get on with your friends. And this video is going to give you 5 reasons why you should play Classic World of Warcraft. Now, some of you guys, it will be really easy to convince, but for others of you, let me give you my 5 reasons why I want to give Classic WoW a try. Now, whether you know this about me or not, I've never played Vanilla World of Warcraft. So, Classic World of Warcraft is the best opportunity for me to find out what the game was like back then. No, I didn't decide to spend a lot of time with private servers. I just didn't feel like it was my thing. Instead, I enjoyed whatever the expansion we had at the time. Although I don't blame anybody for trying out Vanilla World of Warcraft, especially during Warlords, because that was really where WoW was at its biggest lull. But I think everybody at one point has tried the Classic World of Warcraft demo and even was able to log on the Classic beta. So majority of you guys have had at least some sort of experience with Classic, whether you played Vanilla back in the day or you tried out a little bit here and there. So there's a good idea that most of you will know what I'm talking about when I start listing off my reasonings. Reason number 1 is going to be the talent system. Back in Vanilla, World of Warcraft probably had the most customizable talent tree I've ever seen. Every talent bar was flooded full of talents with various different effects. It is super fun just to look at what each class and each spec was able to do in terms of their talents, what kind of builds and combinations you can come up with. The creativity behind what you could do with those talents for your build is endless. For example, I decided to make what I would believe a decent Shadow Priest build would look like. Now, this is my very first time taking a look at the Priest talents, let alone the Shadow Priest ones in particular. And this is my best attempt as a very first attempt. Probably not the most optimized thing in the world, but it was fun crafting together a build that I thought might potentially be decent. Now, there's a good chance somebody in the comments is going to point out how this build is actually terrible, and you guys might even point out to me a build that was viable back in the day. But I think it's part of the fun, being able to customize the way you want to play your character, the way you want to spec your class, and choosing from all these different talents in a combination to one another. Don't get me wrong, Battle for Azeroth has some customizability. Hell, just for playing Outlaw, there's a couple different builds that I can go. For PvE, PvP, don't want to go for a very high crit bursty build, don't want to go for a more dungeon build, depending on the traits that I have, the essences, and the talents that I'm running. But I feel like Vanilla World of Warcraft had the most in-depth customization, and there's simply no expansion that's going to be able to rival that. Number 2, for me personally, is the class quests. What I like behind the idea of class quests is it's a more involved way of learning certain abilities. Back when I played in Cataclysm, you would run up to your trainer and learn all your abilities. Hell, eventually they dropped that whole idea and your character simply learned abilities over time. Some abilities were even moved to talents, and now you are learned certain passives through your gear and active abilities through essences. But there's something unique about a class quest, or the idea of the class. Back in Legion, when we had order halls that were for the class that you were, with class-specific storylines and class-specific quests, to me personally, that whole concept was one of the coolest aspects of Legion. I know that nobody liked the time gating and nobody liked the order hall missions back in Legion, but having something unique to your class, an experience that was unique to that specific character, I thought gave so much more replayability. Not only was I able to play my rogue, learn the rogue storyline, and unlock all the different rogue things like the rogue class mount, but I could also play my priest, have a very different storyline with different objectives, and also unlock other priest related goodies. And this could be done for every class, which gave, I feel like, Legion a little bit more replayability when it comes to playing your alts. So imagine playing a rogue and going through an intricate quest line to unlock basic abilities like learning how to craft poisons and getting flash powder for vanish and other abilities like that. or being a druid and having to swim all across the world just to learn how to use aquatic form, or some of the more intricate quest lines that warlocks had to go through to learn how to use their pets. I feel that sense of uniqueness is going to be amazing, and the best part is this will happen while you're leveling your character. So even though it feels like a side objective to you trying to get to max level, this is going to be one of the cool side activities to do, but also it's going to make you feel like you earned that ability. And a lot of people talk about, when it comes to WoW, earning things or feeling a sense of satisfaction. And I feel like this activity to learn and earn certain abilities, certain skills that are required and are given to your character, a lot of people will find it more enjoyable to have a quest line, a storyline of how your character figures out how to use certain abilities. Whether it might be summoning powerful demons from the nether to obliterate your foes, or learning simple things like a defensive stance. Number 3 on this list, which should go with number 2, is the leveling experience. Back in vanilla WoW, leveling was part of the content. In the current WoW, I think a lot of people will agree with me, leveling is a means to an end. All of us are just trying to get to max level so we can enjoy the end game content. Don't get me wrong, BFA has some great endgame content, from Mythic Plus dungeons to battlegrounds or arenas if you want to go hardcore, as well as Mythic raids. A lot of these raids and dungeons are very intricate, and there's a lot to do, especially in patch 8.2, when it comes to gearing up your character, to the point where alts are becoming a lot less friendly in this new patch. But back in vanilla, part of the content wasn't just the dungeons, the raids, the PvP, but the leveling of back in the day WoW was a huge part of the content, huge part of the experience, the journey to get to max level. First of all, the journey wasn't quick. Right now, if you don't do the character boost, you can level up a character from level 1 to level 120 in maybe a couple days. If you want to grind it, you could probably do in a day and a half, or maybe even less than that. Even with someone who has all the time in the world, it's not going to take him less than a day to level to max level in World of Warcraft Classic. Most people that have responsibilities, it takes them a couple days to weeks to maybe even months, depending on how busy you are. The leveling experience back in WoW wasn't like jam-packed with quests or had some incredible storylines. It simply was just one of those things that you had to do. Part of the questing experience, part of the leveling experience, part of playing WoW Vanilla was the fact that you're going to spend a lot of time questing and leveling your character. It didn't help that questing back in the day was a lot more challenging, which is something I enjoy. I enjoy a challenge out of the game, which is why I always strive for higher rating in PvP, higher Mythic Plus keys, or trying to get every single boss done until cutting edge in Mythic raids. In vanilla, most classes had to pull only one enemy at a time. Pulling 2 or more would be an instant guaranteed death. Some classes had it much harder than others. Some classes having pets to tank things for you, others having crowd control abilities and ways to get out of bad situations, while others like warriors simply just had to take it on the chin and sit down, eat food every single encounter. Back in vanilla, you also had a lot of running back and forth. You would go to a zone, complete all the quests available, move on to the next zone, and eventually your quest would trail you back to the original zone to finish 1 or 2 more quests before you're sent off to faraway lands to do 1 or 2 quests there before you have to run all over the place and then maybe even stop and grind mobs until you get a higher level. There was a lot of time investment, but also a lot required out of you just to get to a max level back in WoW. So in a way, it was very much part of the content, part of the experience, part of the glory. Just to get to max level was a big achievement. Number 4 for me, it's kind of exciting to have everybody playing the game all at the same time. With so many people coming back to classic World of Warcraft, you might be able to find some friends you used to play with, or guildies you used to play with, and pair up on the same server. I think it's going to be exciting because so many people are going to be brought back. Even if you're coming into classic World of Warcraft by yourself without any predetermined guilds or friends or really no one to play with, it's going to be an experience that everybody's going to want to partake in. Whether you have old vanilla World of Warcraft players that played way back in the day, people that played certain WoW expansions that just simply skipped out in the last few, or people that don't like what's currently happening in current WoW and are going to be giving this brand new one a go. You also have brand new people that never really played World of Warcraft. With so many people coming in, everybody's gonna want to try it and see what the hype is all about. If you're somebody who is going to be playing the game all by yourself, new, you're going to have a variety of players joining. That means a lot of guilds, a lot of groups looking for players to join their ranks. So if you're ever having an issue of, hey, I can't find people to play with, especially on Classic WoW where servers are more close-knit since they're not interconnected, no cross-realm possibilities, so you have to find people on your server to do content with. With so many people giving it a go, I feel like it's going to be really easy to find groups to do content, whether it's dungeons, raids, or even PvP. And if you're someone who had friends back in the day, it might be a good idea to ask him, hey, are they going to be playing Classic WoW? In most cases, most people are coming back just to play Classic. Hell, Blizzard had people resubscribing to World of Warcraft not for Battle for Azeroth, but primarily to give Classic a go. Whether they stick around for a month, 2 months, or forever playing Classic WoW until the very end, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But at the very beginning, there'll be definitely a surplus of people. At number 5, it is still the same old World of Warcraft that we love to play. Now I know everybody likes to talk about how different Classic WoW, Vanilla WoW, and BFA, Legion, WoD, MoP, all those other expansions after, how different they are. And you know what? You're not wrong. I agree with you. World of Warcraft Classic was a whole nother beast compared to BFA. World of Warcraft Classic is a whole nother beast compared to Legion, even Warlords of Draenor, even Mists of Pandaria, yes, even Cataclysm, and probably BC and Wrath, but I never get to play either of those two great expansions. But in the end, it's still so very familiar. You still have orcs, you still have humans, you still have similar sounds, you still have quests that function in a very similar way. You have battlegrounds, dungeons, raids. It still is World of Warcraft that you currently play, just a different version of WoW. I'm someone who doesn't play a lot of other games besides WoW, so to have another WoW or like a WoW 2 to play whenever I'm not playing WoW 1, I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna feel so familiar yet different. I'm gonna be playing the class that isn't exactly the same name, a rogue, but it functions in a slightly different way, that plays slightly differently, be it in battlegrounds, open world PvP, a dungeon scenario, or me simply auto-attacking and spamming Sinister Strike, slice and dice refreshing for raids. It's gonna be a similar, familiar experience, but still different enough to be its own deal. I'm somebody who likes similarity. I'm somebody who likes familiarity with things. That's just my personal preference. So for me, Classic World of Warcraft is the perfect game to be given a go in 2019. Anyway guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Hopefully this gave you guys a couple of the reasons why I am gonna be playing Classic WoW, and maybe you guys might find this reason something suiting you. I guess in a way you can also give it a 6th reason. If you are currently subscribed to WoW BFA and are enjoying BFA, to play Classic WoW all it takes is a World of Warcraft subscription. Instead of having one subscription for BFA, one subscription for Classic, they're all interconnected together into one. So if you're currently subbed to BFA, you have access to Classic, you just need to make sure to download it. The game on its own is free, as long as you have a sub fee, and if you're already playing BFA, you already have a sub fee, you get what I mean. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.